Hello and welcome to another beautiful episode of Softline. I'm Nancy Vanigo and with me today is Eddie Young. Hey Young. Eddie, how are you?
Hello, Nancy.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, but I'm also not fine. Hello, everyone. How are you today? It's nice to have you on the show Softline, only on ADBN TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you're not fine. What?
I'm fine and I'm not fine. But if you ask me, I don't know what the problem is, but you know.
I know that feeling. I understand that feeling. We've been there. We know.
Really?
Yeah, we know that feeling. Eddie, but there's something shocking I saw on the social media this afternoon. A woman feeding her baby with some sort of alcohol. So this is video. I don't know. This woman was actually feeding her baby some sort of alcohol. And the story behind this, according to the caption, like, this is what she has to feed this baby before she could sleep, before the baby can sleep. Alcohol we are trying to avoid to prevent adults from taking.
And the adulterated, you know, that particular brand and packaging has the adulterated ones. So, I mean, I don't know what's happening to mothers. So imagine if this child starts at this point to be given an adulterated drink that would affect her liver, kidney, and all of that, and she would barely grow up and start developing liver problems, and they'll say, small baby having liver problems. But the parent, the mother, is actually the cause. And I ask myself, mothers, what do we really want? Why are we so much in a hurry? If you know you can't parent a child, please don't bring one to the world. Yes, because that's a get-quick way of trying to tuck the baby to bed so that you be free. But there are better ways. You could develop or try to discover ways which you can do this, and not that.
Should we say this mother just doesn't know any better?
Well, but funny enough, you know, the second thought, it's funny to see queer things that, you know, works for a child and for people. So, but then, knowing what alcohol is, even to an adult, should make the mother say no for that to be for what she would use to tuck the baby to bed. I mean, she could have tried any other thing, you know, but not that.
Alcohol. Up to now, I'm still racking my head around what was going on in this woman's head while she was feeding this baby with alcohol.
And I'm sure she would tell people that's what works. And don't be surprised.
And this is not the first time.
Don't be surprised. A lot of people will decide
to try it, to give it a try.
Yeah, let me give it a try. Because I've done this, it's not working. I've done that, it's not working. So let me give it a try. Maybe it will work for me too, for crying out loud. I mean, where are we headed?
At this point, I think they should look for this mother and then school her better.
I mean,
yeah.
Who knows if she didn't even learn from some other person? Not that it's a self-discovery. She probably would have learned from someone, and then she's coming to put it to practice.
By the time they fish her out,
it's working for her.
She would tell us if it was.
No, that poor baby shouldn't be subjected to that. That kind of
she would tell us if she learned it from somewhere else or it was something she just tried. Because I have seen in another video where this one was a man, they were just gathered, you know, enjoying themselves. The father of the boy was actually there, and this boy was about 2 years, and he was sitting in a corner of the table with a bottle of beer in his hand, you know, drinking it, and the men there were laughing. You know, it was amusing to them, like, go
initiating
ahead.
the young boy to be a man.
Absolutely.
Silly things parents do.
So you see, we have
not
a
all
whole lot of...
I apologize for saying parents.
Some parents,
yeah.
absolutely. So these are things we see. So I think we should bring this lady in and then school her a bit. Probably she's not sound.
Very terrible.
It's actually appalling to see such a thing happening to a young baby. I mean, I don't even know. I can't even take in that thing as an adult. Alcohol, like the burning sensation. So I'm wondering how this baby is able to swallow.
To think that even adults who indulge in this are refraining from the
trying
ones
to stop.
packaged that way because of adulteration. That's my point of
the adulteration thing.
Yeah.
It's so hard to swallow those things. So I don't know how this baby is able to do. Oh goodness. But I'm sure this is Nigeria. They will definitely fish her out and then teach her some lessons.
And she now brought it to the social media space. Yeah, I mean, what?
I'm even
She brought
glad.
this out to the social media space. What do you, okay, what
See,
what is she trying
for
to,
her
what
to
is,
sleep?
and she's
Every
also
night
drinking it.
for her to sleep.
So what message is she passing out? And what is she trying to prove? Is she creating content?
I mean, if this is content, she should be dealt with, seriously, because this can mislead a whole lot of parents out there who are confused on how to send their babies to sleep. You know, some might even want to give this a trial. So in a world where we are constantly bombarded with images of the latest iPhones, trendiest fashion, or a perfect vacation spot, it is easy to get caught up in wanting more. Yet, as Epictetus said, I always like to be Epictetus. He's a philosopher. He said, a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. And also Leonardo da Vinci also echoed this sentiment, noting that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Well, in Nigeria, where lives, hustle and bustle can make it hard to appreciate what we have, embracing simplicity might be the key to a happier, more fulfilling life. So how can we apply this mindset in our daily lives? Well, joining us today to make clarity to this is Alhaji Ahmed Isa. He's the Director, Media and International Relations, Akwa Ibom State Council for Islamic Affairs. Malam, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure coming.
Yeah, Malam, are you feeling this cold? Because this cold is really dealing with me.
It's fine. It's good.
It's good.
I'm very comfortable.
Oh, okay.
Welcome, Alhaji, to the show.
Thank you.
It's always nice having you on set.
Thank you
So I
very
look
much.
forward to having a very interesting
Conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
All right, ma'am. So we're discussing simplicity as a way of life. And I observed when I was researching this topic, I observed that people from the north, they have this way of life that kind of rhymes or, you know, goes hand in hand with our topic today. So it might not be a new thing to you, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, but in your own view, what exactly is simplicity? What does it mean to you, and how does it impact on your daily life?
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I want to welcome the viewers to this program again. It's a real pleasure coming back to discuss issues that really affects our lives and changes us positively. Like you asked, simplicity actually simply means is a virtue that promotes inner peace and gratitude and a stronger connection with your creator. It involves living a life of moderation, avoiding excesses and appreciating the blessings which God has given you. This, in essence, is what simplicity is all about. Moderation, accepting what God has given you, and living, you know, a very, you know, call it, in Hausa we say, it's a katsekia. You are neither right there at the top, nor are you downtrodden. So simplicity has a lot to do with moderation of whatever you have. The Prophet ﷺ was said simply that simplicity is part of faith. So simplicity, simplicity is also a part of your, you know, your faith. So to be simple in virtually everything you do, not, and you know, the subject is very important and because it's very key. Because a lot of time people tend to miss simplicity to arrogance.
Exactly.
You know, and to excessiveness. So because God has given you this, why wouldn't you use it? Like they say, I hear so many people are saying, if you have it, you show it. Like they tell the ladies, why won't you showcase what God has blessed you with? So we are saying, actually, you should, but go simple. Go simple. That in essence. And you know, there are so many things you can check on simplicity. And then you see it.
Let's talk more about the benefits of living a simple life.
Yes, there are so many benefits to it. Firstly, there are so many core principles of simplicity, where you get moderation, and that's avoiding extremism, like I said, and show of gratitude. That means you are being thankful to your creator and to fellow human beings. Remember, we talked about gratitude in some other programs ago. And so it's part of simplicity that you show this gratitude. And above all, it gives you contentment.
Okay.
You see, when you live simple life, you get this contentment that you get. And then there are so many benefits also, like you asked. It gives you an inner peace.
Oh.
You know, when you are contented, you have this inner peace.
Okay.
Everybody is saying something, but you are inside. And that's what a lot of people lack, you know, because we tend to put these material things that we have to relate to your happiness or to your peace. And absolutely not. We have seen billionaires who have committed suicide, you know, and so it's not the material things you have that equates to your peace and to your enjoyment. I'm not saying don't have it. Have it. Struggle. Get so many things you have, but don't let them to be your that they are things you are pursuing in life. They are not your priority. So it gives you again a deeper faith, because when you are simple, you have that connection with your creator. You know, you have that real connection with your creator, and then it gives you freedom from anxiety.
Okay.
So it reduces stress. If you don't have it, you are not stressful to that. I must have this thing by all means. This June, this year is my year, I must have. And the year is half, you have not even started. And yet you are saying you have. It gives you some strong community relations.
Okay.
Even with your fellow human beings, there is that people tend to, be with you because of your level of simplicity.
Okay.
So if you are too sophisticated, people tend to shy away from you. But if you are simple, people can find you easily approachable. So these are some of the benefits you get by living a simple life. The most important, of course, is the contentment, your relationship with God, and your relationship with human beings who have easy access to you because of your level of simplicity.
Okay, so I'm quick to cut in there, Alhaji, because you've enumerated well the benefits and what it is, and I quite agree with you. But in terms, when we talk about simplicity, what came to my mind when I also looked at it was, why do people abuse simple people? People who are live a simple life are easily abused. They take advantage of such people. But for those who are proud and maybe they have security, people guarding them, they live a life where you can't approach them. Like you have said, if you're simple, you're approachable. So, but some people abuse that. Why is that so? And how can we make sure we encourage people not to be doing that?
Okay.
Yes, thank you. That's another very good approach. You see, simplicity, you cannot remove the presence of the economy and the status that is that we have in the society, because the society is built presently, especially when you look back, say 500, 200 years ago, we were not there, but at least we saw our great parents, how simple life they were living. But now you cannot remove the society from being simple, because the society dictates so many things. And so society is now telling you what to wear, how to look, where to go, what kind of car to drive. You might not want it, but you cannot also run away from the societal influence on those issues. So yes, there is that pressure. And that's some of the consequences you get from simplicity. But how do you now narrow yourself into that so that you avoid being abused because of your simple nature? And we have seen a lot of people. You think he's a nobody. Like I have someone in Canada was saying that a very rich man, you see him with a t-shirt moving along the street. Well, here, if you just have 100,000 in your account, you're already
carrying your shoulders.
Yeah, so, but that's the level. When Mark Zuckerberg came to Nigeria, he came with a t-shirt in Lagos, and people were just, wow, that is the man that owns, so he's in the billions of dollars he owns. But yet he just preferred the t-shirt and the jeans trouser. And we here, if you don't have a Bernriga, you don't have a tie, and you don't have a queue of vehicles following you.
In fact, if you don't have a very expensive designer, design and crests that designer's name, so that
must be one in town.
Exactly.
So that deprives you of what those advantages I said. You could be seen and respected for what you have, but what do you prefer? Your inner peace, your joy, your relationship with your creator. How do you see it? How you cannot have a good relationship with your creator if you are not simple. Because when you have that arrogance in you, you will not be able to kneel down like the Christians do, or to prostrate like the Muslims do, because you've seen a higher being than who you are. But that arrogance will come to you, so you will lose that, and therefore you will lose also your inner peace. You lose your sleep. You start having this. You see them with so many BP drugs all over. You see so many things happening.
Alhaji, this discussion, I want us to be very practical.
Okay.
I want us to talk about practical ways in which we can, live this life. Just like I was saying in my intro, there's no day you wake up on social media. We can't help it. We always go to social media. In fact, we just can't help it. There's no way we go to social media. There's no way we see people. We don't see people around who are wearing trending clothes, trending fashion, new phones, new cars. If you don't have these things, it's like you don't belong. You're right. So even when you come inside your house and you read all these things and you've heard, but when you go outside, it is not it. So how can you shut your eyes, like, cut yourself off these things? And, I just want practical tips.
Thank you very much. See, the practical tips are there.
Okay.
But you see, we are human beings. You cannot shut your eyes. No, you cannot. You shouldn't even shut your eyes. You need to learn things that get what you want, not what is available.
Okay.
You go to a supermarket, you see people shopping for what they don't even need.
Absolutely.
You understand? So start asking yourself, this thing I want to buy, do I really need it? Is it priority for me? And then some people even go shoplifting. Even shoplifting what they don't really need. But because he just sees it as trending thing, so he takes it up. So we need to, is an inner discipline, we have to discipline ourselves. Okay. You have to understand that is what is trending. Okay. You have a iPhone. You see, if you are a phone freak, you are in trouble. You know it. Because these phones continue to come, better ones and better ones are being brought in. If you are a car freak, you're also in trouble. Because you have a car of 140 million today, there's another car of 500 million. So it's going endlessly. So you now have to start cautioning yourself. So this is practical way you should do it. Caution yourself. Talk to yourself. First of all, what I'm wearing, am I naked? No, I'm not. Now, is it okay? Is it clean? So start asking yourself, what is my clothing? How does it affect my relationship with others? Do they see me as, top, low, or in between? Okay. So start going moderately. That's why I say it has to do with some kind of moderation in life. So simplicity is moderation. If God has given you money, enjoy it. It's you he has given to. He has not given you to not just stock it in the bank account and have billions. Neither, if you don't have, don't worry about it also. Live within your means. If you can afford 100, I don't know whether you watched the interview with Dangote. Dangote said he has a plane of 50 million naira. 50 million, is it naira or dollars? 50 million, the plane he's using. Okay. But there are others.
I'm sure it's dollars, it cannot be naira.
Okay. There are others that have 10 times of that plane. And his plane is just moderate. It can take him to where he wants. It can take him, and it's comfortable to a large extent. Okay. But then, if you buy a plane of 500 million, it's still there also. But the class is higher. But what is the difference between the two? If you kind of ask yourself this one, if I go first class ticket and the other one goes third class ticket, or what do you call it now? We are all in the same plane, economic class. We are all in the same plane. If, God forbid, every accident happens, we are all going down. So start asking, but if God has blessed you at Dangote and you want first class, enter with moderation. Like you have the money to buy 2 cars, buy one. You have the money to buy iPhone 15 or 18, buy 12. Do you understand? So that gives you, and check your environment. How are people benefiting from you?
Absolutely.
So if you are really simple and God has blessed you, people should benefit from you rather than you benefiting from yourself. So give people, let people have it. Be charitable, go to motherless homes, go to disabled people's this thing. get people on their feet. That's what gives you life. If you recall, if you know, not too long ago, Ntata died. Ntata died. People are now coming out to say that he is their benefactor. And before then, nobody knows that he is the one that is taking care of. So many people are now coming. And he has left so many, riches also on the ground that are, being taken care of. One orphanage, this one. You cannot believe. And if you see him, he has that simple look and easily approachable. So simplicity is the key to living a good life.
Yeah. So Alhaji, you seem to have raised some points I wanted to question, but along the discussion, you also answered the question. But I would like us to still talk about it. You said if you're rich enough, be simple and spend your wealth. Now, in comparison to what you have, like if you can afford a $50 million jet, go ahead, buy it and enjoy life, right? And then if you have $20 million, you do so. So I was going to question, at this point, where do you draw the line? Because some people would see someone who is simple and can afford these things, and they look at it as flamboyancy or ego, They won't even allow the person to enjoy the simple life and what God has given him or her with peace. So I think we also need to look at the other people who haven't gotten to that level, how they can stay contented and not be envious of those who have gotten there. I don't know, because I feel if we look at that and talk about it, probably it will help others. Yeah, probably.
If I understand you well, like when he made that comment, I also had my objection. Like, okay, so if you have money, enjoy your money, but if you don't have, live a simple life. So what are we saying?
No, you can have your money and still live a simple life.
Yes, I understand.
And you don't have, and you still live your life at your best.
I remember one time when Peter Obi, one of Labour Party presidential candidate, when he said he doesn't use a first class. Whenever he's traveling, he travels economy. He does not use the first, except in real occasion. He even made a story, or he told a story one time where he was traveling with his wife. Now the wife, being who she is, said, "No, I'm not going to follow you. Go economy. You go your economy. I'm going to first class." And then he went to his first class. Now this is somebody who can afford to do all this, but he chose to live this way of life. So I'm just trying to bring out, because some persons might say, yeah, it's difficult to want to live that simple life, especially when you have the means. It's quite difficult.
Yes, you're not getting one point that is very crucial. You see, why should you be simple? Look at the benefits of being simple. Your inner connectivity with your Creator, your inner peace, the virtue of those that promotes these issues for you. So you need it. It's not that the society needs it from you. So you are not reporting to the society. You don't expect, and why the society, like she's asked rightly, why is it that it's so difficult for you to now blame with the society? Because society is asking so much from you. Now, the reason why we have that is because we are not taking care of the society. We are not taking care of the downtrodden. Some of the few are rich, the majority are poor. If you are so rich, God has blessed you with money, and you are helping the poor around you, these are the people that will protect you. These people would not, majority of them will not be envious of you because you ride a beautiful car. They are sure they have 3 square meal is available. They have the jobs. Why are our leaders afraid to walk easily on the street? It's because this wealth is not spread across. A few have millions, if not billions, then the majority have zero. So there is that disparity. The gap is so much. So that's why it's difficult for them to live this simple life, and that the absence of the simplicity in their life also has these consequences for them. They are not, they are afraid. That fear is there. They are not safe, and then they don't have the inner peace. So that's what brings. So you are not asking people to look at you as simple. You yourself, you are simple because you believe you got to check the benefits of this simplicity because you need inner peace. You need it. So you have to go for it.
All right, thank you for that clarification. We've been discussing simplicity, and we'll have Alhaji Isa in the studio with us doing justice to this topic. And then someone said it's quite difficult to, you know, to live a simple life. And he brought a new dimension to this discussion where he said the people who are below, like the 1% of the poor, are the ones who try so hard to live this flamboyant life, while those who have this money and so-called influence, they try as much as they can to live a simple life. Well, I think that is that's subjective, because I don't truly agree with him, but he has his point though. All right, but let's take some few tweets before we come back to Alhaji for more talks. We have our very first tweet here. He says, the things that brings me the most joy are the simplest. The feelings of climbing into my bed, my own bed after a long day. I tell you, in fact, I love that feeling. After a long day work, you just climb into your bed and sleep peacefully. The smell of coffee, oh goodness. A stranger being kinder than I expect. Wonderful. Now, waking up to the sound of rain, the jingle of a loved one's laughter. This simple joy are all I need. Oh goodness. All right, so we'll have this other one from Okonkwo, and he said, be as simple as you can be. You will be astonished to see how uncomplicated and happy your life can become. Okay? And then this long one from Kylie, she says, many moons ago, I thought joy was a big thing, waiting somewhere, a perfect trip, a dream come true, a big yes. But one slow morning, when life felt dull and nothing seemed special, I watched a little bird splashing in a rain puddle. For a moment, I forgot to feel empty. I smiled, almost giggled. That's when I realized that joy isn't some grand arrival. It is tea warming your hands, a neighbor's wave, sunlight falling across the floor. Ever since, I've been trying to notice it more. And the more I do, the more grateful I feel for the plainest days. Joy is quiet. Gratitude helps you hear it. Wow. I love that part. Joy is quiet. Gratitude helps you hear it. Gratitude. Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah. Gratitude. You just have to be grateful for these small things to be able to hear and feel it. I don't know, Alhaji, would you want to react to any of them? Okay, we have one more tweet there, and it says, simplify your life as much as possible. True peace and happiness is nothing complex.
Beautiful words. They are all beautiful tips, and you can see that we know all these things. But when it comes to practicalizing it, like the person that says when you go to bed, you feel that simple nature. If you look down inwards you will see that truly God has created you in the simplest form. The simple things are, like they say, love. It's so simple to love, to give out your heart, to trust. These are simple things. So these are the most important things in life.
Well, it's simple until you get betrayed, or you know.
That's right, but it's shame on the person that betrayed you, because you trusted him and he betrayed you. So shame on him, and to be shame on you if you go back and still trust him for the second time. So shame on him that I trusted you and then you betrayed me. So when you cannot but live with the love. You have children that you love, you know, honest, just like that, unconditionally. So you don't expect anything, but just give out love. But when you expect, that's why you get betrayed. I love you, so you must love me back. So that's when the betrayal comes in. So anyway, but the fact is that we're talking about simplicity, but we must be careful that simplicity is not deprivation, but about prioritizing what truly matters and finding contentment in what we have, the life balance. So it's not just, it's just about, it's not that you should deprive yourself. It's not deprivation. Don't deprive yourself of the good thing that God has given you. If, for instance, because we are all not the same, if I can afford to buy egg and what have you to enjoy a breakfast, I have the money, then I should do it. but I should not go excess. The doctor will even tell you, Oga, don't take more than so number of X. So, but stay within your limit, not going above. You remember I said, if you have the money to buy 2 cars, buy one.
Yeah.
So you
at least you have a car.
You have one. So don't, some people in those days, now that fuel and whatever, has made some of us to be, simple by force. Some people have 5 cars parked in their houses. They don't need it. You don't need it.
You can't drive more than one at a time.
So get what you need. When you go to the supermarket to buy, some people have the habit, every day you must enter supermarket and buy something, whether you need it or you don't need it. You buy a loaf of bread yesterday, it's still there, you have not touched it, you still buy another one. You have forgotten that you bought one yesterday. Because your own habit is just to buying and buying. You have the money, so you buy. So we must have these issues of living a simple life. It's like the tweets you read. You could see that everybody understands that simplicity. But practicalizing it is what is difficult. You want to show off. Show off is not simplicity. But at least we all know what show off is. You want people. There's a lady I know that she will go around. If nobody tells her you are beautiful, she feels bad. So you are doing it for people rather than you. And some ladies tell me that I want to be, myself, comfortable and confident in what I wear and what I say. So whether you tell me I'm beautiful or not, I know I am beautiful. So you go that simple life. And simplicity, I will continue to reiterate it, simplicity gives you, not the person, inner peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Try it. I want to challenge the viewers. Try living a simple life and you will see your life different from what it used to be before. Don't live for another person. Live for yourself. It is very important that you take care of yourself. These diseases that we talk about, this complexity in life that you just see, take it as just way of life. Let it go. Let those worries, let them go. Like the singer says, don't worry, be happy. Your landlord has come, don't worry, be happy. That's a simple life. And God is there to take care of you at the end of the day. Now, after you didn't bring yourself to the world.
Okay, so, Alhaji, I wish we could, because talking about this, one thing still strikes or maybe stalks to my mind, how we can let people know that they need to self-validate themselves and don't allow people, let them be confident, have what it takes, be self-confident, and then feel, just do what you know is good for you, not looking forward to what other, So for example, I got talking with someone and we talked about elaborate funerals, that people spend so much money, elaborate events, so where did we get there? So what if someone wakes up, because some people look at celebrities as their role model, so maybe if one celebrity wakes up and loses a father, a loved one, like maybe father and mother, and does it quietly, maybe does a private funeral, you would see that people will start towing that line. And then this whole thing that has been like, it's impossible. So until we learn to, just be ourselves and know that this is who, self-discovery, know that this is who you are. You can't be like that person. And like Alhaji, you rightly said, simplicity doesn't mean you should undermine yourself. So if I feel I have enough money, though I want to be simple, but I want to do this way, someone shouldn't see it as I'm intimidating the person, and so you do your own thing. Because I wouldn't imagine having money to do a glass coffin to bury my mother, and I feel maybe that's the way I want to honor her in death. And then you feel I'm being too much. Exactly. So that you can't afford it or can't do it that way doesn't mean you don't do yours the right way. And again, being there, not trying to look down on people, because I think human beings, apart from social media, we are our own problems. Let's try to encourage people and say, you're doing well. It's okay, because you find people, like you said, that validation, a lady walking around, if you don't tell her she's beautiful. So there are people who would want you to always tell them, it's okay, what you're doing is fine, and sit down, so you go to visit someone, I don't have a couch. befitting of you to sit. Who am I that I couldn't sit on anything, even if it's a wooden stool, you know? So please, I'll sit here, I'll eat whatever you offer. So I feel until we get to that level, but not minding, because there's another perception to it, where these people abuse these privileges. That you're being simple and bringing yourself down. So I don't know how we can talk about
balance
that.
now. Finding
balancing you being simple and then you not being abused by the people, because you might be simple trying to get to the level of someone who isn't, you know, at par with you, and the person abuses that privilege.
That's right. Well, firstly, you should note one thing, that you cannot please everybody. And secondly, again, note that you are being simple because it pays you to be simple. So, but again, you should not be taken for granted. Don't allow people to take you for granted. Because you are simple, you are not an idiot. You know? So you should be able to cut between the two lines. Lastly, what really matters in the issue of simplicity is that if God has blessed you, bless others.
Another person.
You know, when those people know that I have 100 naira, I'm giving you 10 naira. You don't know whether it's 100 naira, but you know I'm giving you something, and you are grateful for what I've given you. If you see something coming to me, you will stop it. You know why they do this social, you know, companies do social interferences on, you know, it's because
corporate social responsibility.
So yes, it's because if an enemy is coming and they do it to the community, because the community will really, if they know that, if the community knows that they are benefiting from the company, they will save the company. So they will not allow anything to happen to the company. Yet they see beautiful cars going in and out of the company. They see staffs, they see the managing director living okay. They are not envious. They are not jealous. They just believe what the small thing the company is making is reaching them. So this is the balance we need to create. If God has blessed you with whatever you have, I'll tell you a little issues that has to do with some simplicity with the Prophet Sallallahu. You see, when you have, you know, if for instance you got to the market and somebody gave you money and or somehow you were able to buy a chicken and you want to fry it in your house, and for days no meat in the house. Now you know how the aroma of chicken is. Your neighbors, especially if you are living in this kind of face trouble, you know. Once you now when you start, you know, you are going to disturb your neighbor, and maybe he's also hungry. And now the chicken is not going to go around your own family. You have 6, 7 children and 2 wives, you know, or 3, you know. So now what do? You cannot give them, and yet will you deprive yourself of that chicken? So you see that complexity now comes in. So what do? You close the door as much as you can so that the aroma does not go out. You understand? Because they cannot, but if the aroma goes, if you now open doors and windows, see, that means you are not being simple. You are trying to show them that today. That's what you have.
But it's a difficult one, because now we're talking of balancing simplicity and modern life.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, some weeks ago, we saw Davido and what was his name? Burna Boy. They were, you know, as if they were doing some kind of competition. They bought the latest car, you know, so much, you know, money was spent on these cars. And these people have fleets of cars that they hardly drive, but here they are, still buying this thing. But when somebody raised an objection, I think it was Very Dark Man or so, I spoke about this, that can they feel the temperature in the room that people are suffering? Why waste so much money in buying this? Now, these people kind of replied and say it is their money. They can do whatever they deem fit with it, right? If you look at their way of life, they are musicians, they are celebrities, they are influencers. They have to live this life, according to them. They have to live this life just to be there for the society, because their life, whether we like it or not, is just like they're living for the glams, for the society. That is how they make their money, to come out and show off, right? Now, how would you now tell somebody like that you're supposed to, you know, leave all these modern things and live a simple life?
Well, it's a very difficult. Before I answer that, I want to briefly talk about burial and all those things that she brought up.
She mentioned.
You see, it's a very big problem here in the South or in the Christendom, the way the burial is going on. Because there are, I don't know whether you watched one film some many years back, Buried in a Million Gasket. There was one Nigerian film that the mother needed just paracetamol and he could not afford. The guy was abroad. He was like, no, mom, just manage whatever. And the mom that died, he could not afford, he could not give her money to buy paracetamol. And when the woman died, he started bringing his friends from UK and so on. So they made the gasket in the about 10 million naira or so gasket, very expensive. Man, paracetamol is just 100 naira or 150 or 200. So she died wretched. That's the name of the film. So you could see, but he wanted to now show people, you know, what he can do, that he has arrived, because people appreciate that. And then there was, you know, so many cows were slaughtered, rice was available for everybody. You know, Nigeria funeral, trust me, the mother's ghost will come up, and so that's not where we are going to. But the fact is that he was doing it for people, just like the actors and actresses and show business people. They are doing it for people. But this same, I don't know whether you know of some of them, like that. There's one in China that committed suicide. He was at his peak. He was, you know, glamour, you know, everywhere he goes, girls follow, and he was in millions. He has millions of followers. He's a multi-millionaire. He was a top musician. He just jumped from a height because he was depressed. So depression comes from lack of simplicity. Once you don't live simple life, and the society is the one that is pushing this
absolutely
people.
It is the society.
So, but every one of us should understand that I first, you know, that my life matters. I should take care of myself first. So before I now think of any other person. Like when you enter plane and you have a child, they tell you take care of yourself first before the baby are even holding. That's what life is all about. So, but if you now want the society to dictate for you, you're in trouble.
Absolutely.
Because you can never please the society.
Absolutely.
Secondly, you will continue to strive until death takes over. And then when the death comes, there's a big party for you, which you don't need, which you are not aware of. But you know, if you know our own way of burial, we could just compare and see the simplicity in burial. We bury with just 6, you know, plain clothes, white plain, which is not more than 2,500 naira, and that's all.
Don't they do celebrations afterwards?
We don't celebrate anything.
Afterwards?
Nothing. As a matter of fact, if the bereaved, people will bring food to the bereaved family, not that the bereaved will feed even. Because if a woman lost her husband and you expect her to make party, she's already in, you know, kind of sober condition. So people, her neighbors, will cook food and bring to her. And you just go and greet her, and then you can be fed from the food people have brought, and then you go back. No party, no nothing. And that's all. You just go and greet and, you know, console her and be with her for some time, and then pray for her, pray for the disease, you know, encourage her, like you say, tell her it is not over. God is there, He knows what is happening. Come give her good words of encouragement that life continues, and then you go. There's no need for any other fanfare. So that's the way we do. That to me, like you said in the initial part, so when I came here and I saw the burial mode, it was difficult for me to key in. You know, they invite me to come for burial and I see what
the fanfare.
The fanfare, it's really serious. It's really serious. The casket, I'm sure, is in the millions. You know, then the people invite the canopy, the rice, see the different kinds of food.
And some societies, some communities here, even if the man died wretched, he's poor, but they will not bury him until they provide some things.
So this
and the people who he left behind are quite poor. They don't have. You now see them striving to provide those things before they can bury their dead. I mean,
so it's a societal problem, but we continue to talk about it. You know, and it will take time for this simplicity, as simple as it is, for it to get across. You know, so I appreciate this this subject matter that you brought up. It's very beautiful. You will not know whom you have impacted by this. So, but it takes time for all these things to gradually, you know, get sunk into our, you know, system, because society is a very, very complex issue. You cannot just bring up a topic or a lifestyle and then expect
change
it
immediately.
It will take time, but we should not sit, you know, lean on our oars and say we have said it and that's all. You know, we should practice it. I'm sure some people that are watching us will start practicing it, and then when they start discovering themselves, they will not tell another person, and then it can go on and on and on.
Absolutely.
But I assure you, if you live simple, you'll be happier than what you are.
Thank you so much, Alhaji Isa, for coming on the show today. I really enjoy your perspectives on this living a simple lifestyle. There's something we did talk about, you know, declustering is also part of living a simple life. Like so many people, they gather so many things in the house that they have no use for. They want to wake up every day and be looking at those things, but year to year, they have absolutely no use for those things. Give them out to people who can use. Iba, they want to.
Women especially.
Women especially, you know. Give them out, because I have something I've been keeping for years now. I keep saying I want to sell it, I want to sell it. And as the year goes by, it's depreciating in value, but I still have it there. You understand? So each time I look at it,
so someone is guilty here.
Yeah, I know. I'm making my confessions. I know.
In fact, as simple as clothing are, our clothes, the clothes you don't need.
You give them out.
Don't buy what you have not used a cloth for almost 6 months, 7 months, and you're still having. What are you keeping
it for? Oh my goodness, simplicity is the way of life. Thank you so much, Alhaji. All right, let's take a step back, breathe, and appreciate the beauty of simplicity. May the wisdom shared here today inspire us all to live more intentionally, cultivate gratitude, and find peace in the present moment. Because nobody is promised tomorrow, no matter what you think. Nobody is being promised tomorrow. From all of us here, this is the much we have. Bye-bye for now, and thanks for watching.